Hello and welcome to IOMC Radio and Podcast.
Glad to be here.
Today we're going to be exploring the top news headlines today, February 21st.
Sounds good.
All right, let's kick things off with some U.S. politics and law.
Okay.
An appeals court has upheld an order blocking President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship for children of undocumented immigrants.
Yeah, this ruling is really significant because it reaffirms the 14th Amendment, which guarantees citizenship to anyone born on U.S. soil,
Right.
regardless of their parents' immigration status. And this is a major setback for President Trump, who has been trying to redefine birthright citizenship and limit access to citizenship for children of undocumented immigrants.
For sure, and in another major development, the Senate narrowly confirmed Kash Patel, a staunch Trump loyalist, as the new director of the IAI.
Right.
This decision has sparked a lot of controversy, especially among Democrats who fear Patel might use his position to advance the president's agenda.
Well, yeah, it's certainly a controversial appointment. Patel has a history of criticizing the FBI and accusing it of bias against conservatives. His critics worry that he might use his position to target the president's political opponents,
Right.
or shield his allies from investigation, which could undermine the FBI's credibility and independence.
Okay, so let's shift gears now to international politics. Brazilian President Lula DaSilva had some strong words for President Trump,
Oh, yeah.
accusing him of wanting to be emperor of the world. He also called on Trump to respect other countries' sovereignty.
Lula's comments reflect a growing international concern over what some perceive as U.S. unilateralism.
Yeah,
His criticism of Trump was particularly pointed coming after Trump publicly criticized Ukraine's President Zelensky.
interesting.
Yeah, this all ties into the ongoing tension between the U.S. and Ukraine over how to handle the conflict with Russia. Ukraine wants direct U.S. involvement,
Okay.
while the U.S. seems to be favoring direct talks with Russia to end the war.
So from political clashes to a potential change, of course, in space exploration, several key NASA officials connected to the Artemis moon program are stepping down, amidst rumors of a shift in focus towards Mars missions.
Well, the timing is interesting, especially with Elon Musk's increasing influence within the administration.
Right.
He's a big advocate for Mars exploration and has even been given special access to review NASA records.
Wow.
Yeah, some speculate that he's pushing for budget cuts and staff reductions to free up resources for Mars missions,
I see.
which could explain the departure of these Artemis officials.
And it looks like these rumored budget cuts could have a real human impact. A source close to NASA have revealed that layoffs are a real possibility under the incoming NASA leader Jared Isaacman.
If that happens, it would be a major shift for NASA and could signal a significant change in priorities.
Yeah.
The Artemis program, which aimed to return astronauts to the moon, has been a major focus for the agency in recent years.
For sure.
A shift towards Mars would represent a departure from that goal and potentially a scaling back of NASA's ambitions in the near term.
Now for a heartbreaking story closer to home. An 11-year-old girl in Texas tragically took her own life after allegedly being bullied over her family's immigration status.
Absolutely. This tragedy underscores the vulnerability of children
Yeah.
and the devastating consequences of bullying, especially when it targets sensitive topics like immigration status.
Right.
The fact that the mother alleges the school knew about the bullying but didn't inform her raises serious questions about their responsibility to protect their students.
Turning now to international incidents, 3 buses exploded in Bat Yam, Israel in a suspected terror attack.
At this point, details are scarce.
Okay.
The investigation is ongoing, and there are no confirmed casualties. This incident, though, is a stark reminder of the ongoing tensions and security challenges in the region. Israel has been facing a wave of violence, and this latest attack underscores the fragile security situation.
Switching gears to crime and justice, we have news from Nigeria.
Okay.
A Nigerian-based drug cartel kingpin K. Jeff was arrested in Lagos after a 5-year investigation for smuggling illicit drugs into South Korea.
This was a major international operation.
Wow.
Jeff and his cartel were incredibly sophisticated, tripping people into unknowingly smuggling drugs for them.
Oh, wow.
His network spanned multiple continents, highlighting the global reach of drug trafficking.
Right.
The arrest is a testament to the collaborative efforts of Nigerian and South Korean authorities.
And in more news from Nigeria, authorities have reportedly arrested Hamza Suadubu, a notorious arms trafficker who supplied weapons to terrorist groups in Sokoto State, including the feared leader Bello Turji.
This is a significant development in the fight against terrorism in Nigeria.
Okay.
Suadubu's arrest could disrupt the flow of weapons to these groups, which could weaken their ability to operate. However, there are concerns about potential corruption within the security forces,
Interesting.
as some officials are suspected of being complicit in Suadubu's operations. Yeah, this arrest is a major blow to Turji's operations and puts him under immense pressure, especially with the ongoing military operations in the region.
Right.
There's even talk that Turji might be considering surrendering to security forces.
Wow, that would be a huge turning point.
Yeah, it would be a significant victory for sure. But, even if Turji surrenders,
Right.
the underlying issues that fuel these groups will still remain.
For sure.
Addressing those issues will require a long-term commitment
Absolutely.
to tackling poverty, inequality, and corruption.
It's been a whirlwind of a news day.
Oh, yeah.
Covering everything from international politics and space exploration to heartbreaking stories of bullying and terrorism.
It really highlights the complexities of our world, for sure.
It does.
These headlines offer a glimpse into the forces shaping our present and future,
Yeah.
and it's important to stay informed and engage in meaningful dialogue about these issues.
Absolutely. By understanding the underlying causes and potential consequences of these events, we can make more informed decisions and contribute to positive change. One thing that struck me today was the recurring theme of power and its potential for both good and bad.
Yeah.
We saw it in the political arena with President Trump and his policies, in the scientific realm with the potential shift in NASA's priorities, and even in the tragic story of the young girl who was bullied.
It's a powerful reminder that power can be used to uplift or to oppress.
Right?
And it's up to us to hold those in power accountable and to advocate for a more just and equitable world.
So as we wrap up our exploration of these headlines, I want to leave our listeners with this thought. How do these stories make you feel? What connections do you see between them? And how do they impact your perspective on the world?
Those are important questions to consider.
Yeah.
And I encourage everyone to continue seeking out diverse perspectives and reliable information so we can navigate these complex times with greater understanding and empathy. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the news,
Right.
but it's important to remember that we all have a role to play in shaping a better future.
Okay, well, that about wraps up our look at today's top news headlines.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure talking with you about all this.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
And thanks to all our listeners for tuning in to IAMC Radio and Podcast.
And remember, stay curious, stay informed.
We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Today's Top News Headlines on IAMC Radio and Podcast.